Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Gavin Kotkin, and welcome to our webinar, Preparing for an ISO Audit. Thank you for joining us today. Just letting you know that we'll get started in a couple of minutes, so please sit tight while we wait for everyone to enter the session. Grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. We'll give it another minute or so. We've just got a few more people coming in, and we'll make sure everyone gets here on time. Okay, it looks like we have enough people who have joined us, so we can make a start. If you missed the beginning, my name is Gavin Kotkin, and welcome to our webinar, Preparing for an ISO Audit, presented by the Citation Group. Before we deep dive into the presentation, I just wanted to cover off some general housekeeping rules. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we'll try to answer them at the end of the presentation. You don't need to wait until the end. You can type them in throughout the webinar, and we'll get to them at the end. The webinar is recorded, and you will be sent a recording link after the session in case you missed something or you'd like to share it. We have quite a few people joining us in today's webinar. So given the high attendance, I'm guessing that you've come along to our webinar because you're interested in learning about ISO certification and how to prepare for the audits. So I'm really glad you've joined us today. And by the time you finish the webinar, you should walk away with some useful information that will help you and your people manage the journey. Today, our webinar will be presented by Rebecca Machin. Beck is an experienced approved quality auditor and former exemplar global certified lead auditor and specializes in management systems across a diverse range of industries. Beck is now our operations manager at Citation Certification, and she leads the service delivery team and the auditor workforce we have. She focuses on a lot of team development and career growth within that pool of auditors. A little bit about me. My name is Gavin. I'm a business development manager at Citation Certification. So I work with businesses to help them uncover any gaps they have around their HR and safety processes and find solutions that streamline their people management. Okay, so if you've attended one of our webinars in the past, here's a little information about Citation Group. So Citation has been around for over 30 years. We've been working to help Australia and New Zealand businesses by providing complete workforce compliance solutions and create better workplaces. We do HR solutions and safety management systems. We do ISO certification. We do workplace law and migration services. So we can support companies or organizations in all of these areas. So if you'd like to learn more about what we offer, you're welcome to have a chat with me after today's webinar, and we can have a chat about your needs and find a solution for you. So today we're going to be featuring Citation Certification, which is one of the divisions of Citation Group. Citation Certification has been around for over 30 years, certifying a whole range of organizations, and we help guide people through the complexities of certification. We also do NDIS compliance audits. We also have training for ISO certification, and we try to become your partner in the journey to get certified. Okay, so that's all from me. I'll now pass it over to Rebecca, who will talk you through today's topic. I hope you enjoy the webinar, and I'll see you a bit later on.
No, thanks, Gavin. So welcome, everyone. It's great to see everybody here, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about how to prepare for your ISO audit. Whether this is your first audit or you're experienced but want to refine your approach, these tips will help you ensure a smooth and successful process. Here's what we'll cover today. First, we'll break down the key steps to prepare for your audit. Then we'll go over some common pitfalls businesses do face and how to avoid them. And finally, I'll share some practical tips to ensure compliance and readiness, which is why we're all here. By the end, hopefully you'll have a clear roadmap for success. You'll walk away with some key benefits of ISO certification. What are the reasons to get certified? Hopefully you'll understand more about the certification process itself and some tips to prepare. So let's start with the basics. So ISO certification is an internationally recognized standard that verifies an organization adheres to best practices in areas such as quality, environmental management, information security as examples. The certification is awarded by a third-party certification body after a thorough audit. Standards like ISO 9001 focus on quality management, while others like 14001 and 27001 target environmental management and information security, respectively. It's essentially a stamp of approval showing your customers and partners that you meet global standards. Now, why is ISO certification so valuable? So first, it enhances customer trust by demonstrating your commitment to quality or another specific criteria. It also streamlines operations and reduces inefficiencies, saving you time and money. ISO certification helps you manage risks more effectively and can even open doors to new markets. Many businesses find it a requirement for tendering or forming strategic partnerships, for example. Let's break down the certification process itself. Many of you might be on the first part of this journey or midway through. It begins with a gap analysis to identify areas where your current processes don't align with your chosen ISO standards. Next, you'll need to develop or refine your policies and procedures. Internal audits are crucial at this stage to ensure you're ready for an external assessment. Gather your top management together to conduct a review of your management system, and this being called a management review. It's important to record such review meetings and provide these records at your external audits. It's also important to implement and to capture any improvements from the reviews of your system. You'll then select a certification body who will perform an initial stage 1 and stage 2 audit. The initial stage 1 audit reviews your documentation, policies and procedures, and other documents you've developed to meet the standards. Usually within that 6 months, you are then required to complete your stage 2 audit, which evaluates implementation of your management system. If successful, you'll receive your certification, which is typically valid for 3 years with annual surveillance audits along the way. A tip, it's really important to engage with your stakeholders throughout these processes and these stages of the certification process. Understanding the audit process. So let's start here. ISO audits typically have 3 stages. Stage 1, auditors review your documentation to ensure it aligns with the ISO standards. This is usually conducted remotely. Stage 2 is the on-site assessment, where they look at how well you've implemented your system. After certification, you'll have regular surveillance audits to maintain your compliance. Understanding these stages will help you prepare effectively. Tips to prepare for an ISO audit. So preparation is key to a smooth audit process. Start with purchasing a copy of the standards. Without this, you will not be in a position to understand the requirements. It's also a great opportunity to complete some training in the standards. There is online training aimed at understanding, demystifying, and implementing the standards. You can ask us later about our training courses we have. Next is your documentation. Make sure all your policies, procedures, and records are accurate and accessible and up to date. You then conduct your internal audits to identify and address any gaps or identify your own improvements to your management system. As mentioned before, you schedule and record your management review and document that outcome. It's important to train your staff to ensure everyone understands their role in meeting ISO standards and why it's important to the business. This will bring them along the journey with you. Finally, conduct your own gap audit to check your readiness for the external audit. You can also choose to have your certification body complete this on your behalf, who will provide you with a report on where you might want to further focus efforts in lead up to the external audit. These steps will help you feel confident going into the official audit.
Thank you, Beck. That was a great presentation. You summed it up really well there. I'm just going to take this moment to present an offer we currently have at Citation, which is $1,800 off certification. It's one of the biggest offers we've ever had. So you can scan the QR code. If you're viewing from your mobile, there's a link below. You can click on it, just complete the information. If you think ISO's for you, if you're interested in getting more information or receiving a quote, then please enter your details and I'll have a chat with you. Just so you're aware, there's no one size fits all when it comes to certification. There's complex calculations that are done that looks at the industry, the risk profile, the current management systems in place, number of employees. Once all these factors are taken in, we can then quote on audit duration. So if you're interested to know what it's going to, how feasible it is for you to get certified, then click that code and I can apply the discount for you straight away, and we can have a chat about the best way to proceed. Okay, so we're just going to pause here for a few moments just to give everyone some time to complete the form. So you're welcome to scan the QR code or click on the link, add in your details, and we'll get in touch with you and make a time to have a chat about all things ISO. And once you've completed that form, I'll be able to apply the discount to any proposal that we send you. So we'll just wait a few seconds. So now's the time. And then we'll continue after that. Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin. So now we're going to head into the preparation steps. So preparation step 1, knowing the requirements. The first step in preparing for your ISO audit is understanding the standard you're being audited against. Each ISO standard, whether it's 9001 for quality management or 14001 for environmental management, has specific requirements. A gap analysis can help you identify areas that need improvement. Also, it's important to stay informed about updates to ISO standards as they can change over time. Preparation step 2, organise your documentation. Documentation is a critical component of your ISO audit. Auditors will want to see that your policies, procedures, and records are up to date and accessible. Using a checklist can help you verify that nothing is missing. Be sure to include records of past audits and management reviews to demonstrate your commitment to continuous improvement. Preparation step 3, conduct internal audits. Internal audits are like a rehearsal for the real thing. They help you identify weaknesses and give you a chance to address them before the external audit. Make sure your internal auditors are well trained and objective and document everything, findings, corrective actions, and follow-ups. This demonstrates to the auditor that you're proactive about maintaining your system. Preparation step 4, engage employees. Your employees play a vital role in the success of your audit. Auditors may interview them to see how well your processes are understood at all levels of the organisation. Help your team feel confident by providing training on the requirements relevant to their roles. Keep communication open and make sure everyone understands their part in the process. Preparation step 5, test your systems. Testing your systems is a great way to ensure readiness. Conducting a mock audit, for example, to simulate the experience and uncover any last-minute issues. You can practice answering common auditor questions and review previous corrective actions to make sure that they've been properly implemented. This will give you and your team confidence going into the actual audit. Some common pitfalls to avoid. Even the most prepared organisations can stumble on a few common pitfalls. Outdated documentation is a big one, as is poor communication with your team. Leaving preparations until the last minute can also lead to stress and missed details. Finally, make sure you've addressed any non-conformities from the past audits. These will likely be revisited. People get certified and then forget to ensure they maintain their system. Audit day. What to expect. When the audit day arrives, be ready to welcome the auditor and provide easy access to documents and the people they'll need to speak with. It's important to designate a point of contact to manage communication requests on the day. And remember, transparency is key. If something isn't perfect, that's okay. Acknowledge it and share how you've been working on it to improve. Post-audit. What happens next? Once the audit is complete, you review the findings carefully. Address any non-conformities with a corrective action plan and implement the changes promptly. Also take time to celebrate your achievements with your team and communicate the results. This will keep everyone motivated and engaged in maintaining compliance. And don't forget to add any outcomes and actions to your own internal registers. To wrap up, preparation is the foundation of a successful ISO audit. Engaging your team, keeping the communication open, and focusing on continuous improvement. If you need further support, feel free to reach out for training or guidance. Thank you, and I hope you feel more confident about your next audit. Why get certified in the first place? Many organisations pursue ISO certification because it provides a competitive edge. Being certified can set you apart in a crowded market. It also ensures regulatory compliance, which is essential for many industries. On a practical level, certification can boost your bottom line by improving efficiency and reducing costs while also attracting high-value customers. To help you succeed, we've compiled a range of resources from ISO documentation guides to training programs. If you're looking for expert guidance, our team at Citation Certification is here to support you every step of the way. As a bonus, our clients receive a discount on public training courses, free online training, and access to Citation HR advice line. If you'd like to learn more or book a consultation, reach out to the team.
Thank you so much, Beck. That was a great presentation. You highlighted such key points on why it's such an added benefit for companies to be ISO certified. In my experience, I've seen companies grow from strength to strength in so many ways. It's not only about winning tenders, but by having efficient businesses, good processes. For some companies, we do ISO for succession planning, or if they want to sell their business, and there's just so many awesome advantages to having it. So I'll just, before we move to our Q&A, I'll just remind you about the offer that we have. Up to $1,800 of certification. It's a fantastic offer. We've never really had this before. This is exclusive to everyone who's attending the webinar at the moment. So please, if you're interested in hearing about getting more information about ISO or want a bespoke proposal, then please scan that QR code or click on the link and we'll apply that discount for you. Okay, moving on to Q&A. Okay, so we've been inundated with questions. We only have time to answer a few today. If we don't answer your questions, would be more than happy to talk with you offline, and we can be in touch with you after the webinar. But I've just taken a few here that I think were the most common. So let me bring them up here in the panel. So for you, Beck, this is a good one. Why is ISO so important for my business?
Yeah,
Is
look, it's a great question. ISO means your organization essentially adheres to international best practices in its management systems for quality, safety, environmental, efficiency, or any other specific criteria. It's granted by an international organization for standardization known as ISO, and ensures that your processes meet globally recognized standards. The benefits, are so many. These can include that increased customer trust and satisfaction, streamlined operations and reducing your waste, better
Mm,
risk management and regulatory compliance, and expanding your opportunities in new markets and partnerships.
yeah, great. Thank you. Another question is, can you summarize a few main points or a few things to focus on in getting prepared for an audit?
I would definitely say make sure you've got a copy of the standards. I know this sounds basic, but it can be one of the things that people don't have up front. So it's really important to get a copy of those. Being transparent with your team about the reasons and the background as to why you're going for ISO certification and training your team on the requirements and the standards. It really does bring them along on the journey. Ensure all your documents are complete, updated, accessible. Know where they are. Oftentimes we're in an audit and the auditor's asking for something and the person who they're asking for it doesn't know where it is. So really important to know the information is at hand.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I think a lot of the time people think it's quite an invasive process, but it's
mhm.
not. It's about reviewing your systems, your procedures, having a chat with team members that they understand that what they do is what is mentioned in the management system, and there's no real fail. It's about highlighting areas of improvement, right? So it's only going to
Exactly.
help the business at the end of the day. And in terms of getting a copy of the standard, I know there's a bit of confusion out there. What do you think the best method is for that?
Yeah, good question. The standards are licensed products, so there are a number of places that people can purchase them from, but definitely head to the proper sites to purchase them because they are licensed.
Okay, thank you. Another question here is um, going to speak with my director. What are the top benefits we will actually gain from being ISO certified?
Definitely that expanding opportunities in new markets and partnerships, and streamlining your operations, gaining that efficiency through systems.
Thanks, Beck. Okay, we've got time for one more. This is quite a common one. How long does it take to get ISO certified?
Yes. Oh, the burning question. Look, it does depend on the business and also the level of preparedness for the standards and your audit. But it takes, you go through a two-stage audit. So it's the stage one can be done as soon as you're prepared, really, for that stage one documentation review. And then the stage two is usually done within that 6-month period. So between the start of probably inquiring about certification to getting certified, you probably look between that 6 to 12 months mark.
Excellent, yeah. So one thing I realized is um, companies usually have quite a lot of information there. They might need to tweak a few things to get ready, and then they can do their stage one, which will assess them on how ready they are for stage two. Um, so you might find that there's not many gaps to fill, but if there are, you have 6 months to correct it. And if not, you can do the stage two the following month or in the next couple of months. So it's really up to the organization how quickly they push it along. But companies that are very keen and well prepared, and quite often we'll see them get certified within 3 to 6 months. But yes, it does vary.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you. Excellent. All right. I think that's all we have time for today. So if anyone has some questions that you want answered, please feel free to reach out. We'll happily answer any questions you may have about ISO. Beck, thank you so much for this presentation. You summarized it really, really well. Sorry we didn't get to all the questions, but if anyone has any other questions they'd like answered, please feel free to get in touch with us. We love talking about all things ISO and are happy to answer any questions you may have. If you just want general inquiries, you're welcome to scan the QR code and we'll get in touch with you, and we can continue educating you about all things ISO. So from me and Beck, thank you very much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thanks, Gavin. Thanks for having me, and we look forward to partnering with you on your journey.
Thank you.